Hi everyone, welcome to Community Well podcast series. My name is Tanya, and today I'm here with Kit Kaufman, a herbalist and a founder of Clarity Herbals. I'm excited to welcome you here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Today we're going to have a conversation about herbalism, what it is, and why did Kit start practicing, and kind of why it matters to her and should matter to you too. We have some little tiny gifts from Kit today. Would you mind explaining us what it is?
Because it's such a cold day today, I decided to make a really nice heartwarming tea. So I blended hawthorn leaves and berries, cinnamon, there's some tulsi in there, damiana, oats, and for a little bit of added comfort, I put some vanilla extract. So,
smells really good.
Yeah.
I wish our listeners could feel it right now, but I feel very lucky to try it. But okay, let's get started. How would you kind of define herbalism, what it is, what this practice is about, basically?
Yeah, it's a big question. But herbalism at its core is basically using plants as medicine, and it is something that's been with humans and humanity since the start of it. So it's something that's ingrained in every single one of us. And herbalists and herbalism really strive to put the body back into equilibrium. So if there's any kind of dis-ease into it, our goal is to bring harmony back to it.
Oh, that's nice. Do you remember how you came across herbalism for the first time?
Yeah, I had moved here with my then fiance from Ohio. We lived in big cities, and it was quite the culture shock coming to Lexington. It was much smaller than sprawling Columbus, Ohio, but the way of living here is just so different. So I thought it was so amazing and empowering to see people, hunt for mushrooms during the right season. There's a wineberry season where you see people picking those off of like the side of the roads, and some people like harvest roots in the winter, and people hunt, and people here are just much closer to nature, and I just slowly started getting into it as soon as I moved here. Yeah.
So, like, when you kind of Google the definition of herbalism, there's often this distinction between clinical herbalism and also kind of community one. Would you say that kind of you got introduced to the folk herbalism first, or how did that work for you?
I think I got started more with folk herbalism, and then I started becoming more interested and more passionate in the study, and I wanted to have more of focus more on like the science and like organ systems and stuff like that. So I leaned now more into clinical, but there is a ton of overlap between the two.
Could you help us distinguish what's the biggest difference?
I would say the biggest difference is that clinical herbalism, for the most part, people will have an anatomy, physiology class under the belt. They'll have some training in phytochemistry. They're going to learn about root causes of disease, how organ systems function, and then you add in herbs to kind of put it all together.
I see.
So it's more of a clinical herbalism will have more of a modern scientific approach to it slightly. That's not to say that they still won't use things that they've used or learned in folk herbalism. A lot of people combine. So
herbalism is actually a super old practice, but I do notice that more and more people are returning to it now. It's almost like a trend, kind of. What would you say about that? Why do you think people start doing that again?
I think it's a lot of different reasons. People come to me with all different types of stories. I think some of it is that with the largest barrier with medical care right now is affordability. So if people do not have insurance, seeing an herbalist will be a lot less expensive than getting like a $400 to $600 bill in the mail.
Absolutely.
I think that's one reason. I think another reason is, at least me personally, I needed to see a dermatologist, and I had to have like a 3 to 4 month wait. And so sometimes people are just like, well, I want to start doing something now. I don't want to wait 3 to 4 months. So some people will come to an herbalist, and we can start with nutrition or some tonics just to get them feeling some relief while they're waiting for their doctor's appointment in 3 to 4 months. So even when tinctures can get pretty expensive. Sometimes tea blends, depending on the plant, can be pretty expensive. But we teach people how to make their own medicine. So like you may want to get like a 2-ounce tincture with me just to try and see if it works. If it works, you can save some money and you can make your own medicine. So I think that is like a huge positive to it, is that it's more affordable because you can grow your own.
So how would you kind of summarize the role of herbalism alongside the normal, like,
That's
conventional medicine?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. And I think that herbalism and modern medicine really suit each other. I think they complement each other really well. You can go to a doctor and you can get a checkup, you can get your blood panels, you can get a diagnosis and a prescription to maybe certain life saving drugs. And then you'll go to an herbalist and we will help you, we'll help you support your body. We'll try to bring it back to balance. And we typically start with nutrition and, tonic herbs or nutritional infusions. And we really work with the clients. An intake will take around an hour with an herbalist.
Okay.
So we really go in deep. So we're going to ask how each, how do your lungs feel? How does your stomach? What are you eating for every day? What does your sleep schedule look like? What does stress? How stressed are you?
Yeah.
And we'll go through all of that, and then we will formulate, teas or tinctures or lifestyle suggestions.
So do you do online consultations, or how does it work? If I reach out to you and I say that I have some concerns about my health and I would like to kind of see a herbalist, what would be our step-by-step process?
I would schedule, well, at first I would do probably a 15-minute like quick consultation, like over the phone, to make sure like we're right fit for one another. If someone's gonna call me and say like, I have stage 4 cancer, I'm going to refer out to someone else who has more experience with that. I do not have enough experience with that yet. But if we were a good fit, then I'll give you an intake to fill out until our appointment, and then you'll come and we can either do it over Zoom or we can meet at my house and we'll go through the intake and go from there.
I see. So can we kind of go back a little bit to your personal journey, and why did you find it helpful for yourself, and what do you appreciate the most about this practice?
Another reason why it helped me so much, and I think why other people are coming to herbalism, is that in today's age of just social media and detachment and not being really disconnected from nature, herbalism is a real good way to reconnect with it. And so my journey really started, I got really into it during COVID with shutdown, and I was studying and reading books at my house, watching YouTube videos. And then in 2021, I went to a women's herbal conference in Charlottesville. It's called Gaia Gathering. And that was just, part of it might have been reconnecting with people after being isolated for so long, but it was just so nice just to connect with people with the same interest. And I learned so much. We learned a lot about mullein that year and mimosa, and we did plant walks and we were drinking tea, and it was probably the hottest weekend of the year, but it was so nice. And that's when I knew, I was like, I need to learn more. And so I went, I've had a lot of teachers in my journey of herbal education. So I started with Susanna Stone out of Scottsville, Virginia, and I got my fundamentals of herbalism with her. And then I went to Ashley Davis in Sacred Garden School. And there I got my, I'm getting all my clinical education through her. So I've learned so much in the last 3 years.
How big is the community of herbalists kind of in this area, in the Shenandoah Valley, maybe more broadly?
I think there's a lot more in Charlottesville, in the Charlottesville area. I think there's a lot more in Roanoke. And I've heard whispers of local herbalists here, but I have not met them yet. I would love to. But I did a tabling. It was through Project Horizon a couple years ago. And I was just like handing out tea, talking about herbalism, and everyone's just like, when are you opening? Like, yeah, you need to be here. Like, everyone's interested. It's so important. So I'm excited to get started here to bring some some education and help and consultations.
Yeah. Who would you say herbalism is for? And if there's any constraints that you would say, maybe not for you.
Oh yeah. So herbalism is always for everyone. I would say a caveat to it is that if you are not ready to do a lot of like inner like reflection, or self-reflection, it probably won't be for you, because I'm going to be asking you how your sleep is. I'm going to be asking you if you're eating. I'm going to be asking you, are you stressed? Yes. Why are you stressed? I'm going to be, we're going to go into like family histories and stuff. So it's a lot of, and it's something that you're not just self-reflecting in the consultation. It's some like, I'm hoping that people are self-reflecting as they're taking an herb. So if I'm giving you this, maybe for stress, this is a good blend for stress. I'm going to be asking how you're feeling as you're taking the tea. So if you're not ready, like sometimes people are just like, are not ready yet.
Yeah. Probably
Maybe wait. I will still see someone if they're not ready yet. But I also think another is that it is not a quick cure-all. It is completely different in modern medicine in that way. It's not it's not like a medicine where I can give you an herb and you're going to see a very quick change in symptoms. I think the saying with herbalism is it's 1 month of herbal and lifestyle changes for 1 year the condition existed. So if you've been having really bad cramps for 3 years, it's going to take about 3 months to see a real change in symptoms or relief. You could still see some relief. And for herbalism, like if you can't sleep, we got herbs for that. We can really help you get to sleep. We can really help with maybe some like gastrointestinal stuff if you're like really bloated or cramping. Like there's stuff that we can really help with symptoms now, but to see like a huge change, it's going to take 1 month of herbal supplementation to 1 year the condition existed.
I've heard a lot of reviews about herbalism is that it's a very slow practice, and it's the beauty of it to kind of slow down, especially considering how fast paced our world has become. So I feel like one of the things that I find herbalism so fascinating is that it actually forces you to slow down.
Yes, and that's I'm glad you brought that up, because that's also another reason I love herbalism is that we can do so much work before you see a doctor. Or even after you see a doctor. My husband said I could tell this story. He has really bad circulation in his feet. And I mean, he would put his feet in front of a space heater and for like half an hour, they'd still be cold. And he would go to his doctor and he would say, "You're just tall. It's fine." When really, I'm just like, that's not right. Like it would be, his feet would still be cold to the touch. But I had him start taking some ginkgo, and he's already seen some like effects to it. It'd probably take a couple months because he's been dealing with really cold feet for a couple years.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, we can. It is just it's just an empowering thing to do. Even me, I have like chronic eye, like dry eye, and you have to do a lot of work, or I've had to do a lot of study and just figuring out, is it something in my diet? Is it stress? I think it's because I'm allergic to a lot of things. I think it's due to allergies, but it's just so cool.
So how does it work exactly? So why one herb would have a certain effect and the other one completely different? So
because herbs are typically like sorted into categories, I'm going to say. So there are herbs that are like good nervines, herbs that are hypnotic. So hypnotic sounds scary, but really it's just the herbs that will really make you fall asleep. Passion flower is considered hypnotic.
I see.
People take it all the time. It's not scary. There are lymphatics. So whatever someone's going through, and needing, I would grab an herb. And there's a lot of herbs that are indicated for like the reproductive system. So if someone's coming to me with really bad cramps, I could use cramp bark or black haw or dandelion root, cinnamon. red raspberry leaf.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So I know that you said that herbalism is for everyone, but are there any health concerns that might not go along well with certain herbs or like?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so part of my training as a clinical herbalist is to know herb drug interactions.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I mean, I'm not on TikTok, but I feel like everyone, when I bring up that I'm an herbalist, is like St. John's worts for like depression, and I'm like, yes, it is helpful. Like even my husband's a pharmacist; he even learned about it in pharmacy school.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, St. John's wort has so many drug interactions that
Yeah.
it's crazy. So if you are on hormonal birth control, if you're on antibiotics, do not take St. John's wort internally
Oh,
because
why?
so it causes your liver just to metabolize faster.
Mm.
So as you're taking that medicine,
Yeah, of
it's
course.
exiting the body way too quick. That is not working.
Mm-hmm.
So girls, if don't take St. John's wort if you're on birth control, it's not good.
Yeah.
So stuff like that.
Yeah. You see, people on TikToks don't talk about that.
Yeah, don't take it. You can use it topically,
Uh-huh.
like as an oil. It's good for sunburns or mild burns, bruising, stuff like that. You can use it topically, but
Mhm.
internally, don't. If
I
you're
see.
on any of those medications.
And so people who become who start working with you,
Mhm.
do you kind of point them to the resources where they can get their herbs, or
Mhm.
is it something that you provide as part of the kind of work with you?
I am wanting to provide that. I want to be able to dispense it. Right now, I'm just getting an idea of what herbs I'm going to be using the most.
Mhm.
So I'm not. So they're just not sitting on my shelf.
Yeah.
But I'd also refer out to people because it's a choice. Like you don't have to get it through
Yeah, of
me.
course.
I'm not going to be upset with it. Like I said, I think the best part of it is that you can make your own.
Mhm.
And that would be really cool. But yeah, I let people know that. I give them the recipe
Mm-hmm.
when I give them their formulations. So yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being here, and
Thank you.
it was really, really
Mhm.
insightful. And stay tuned for next episodes
Mhm.
then.
Yep. Cheers.
Okay.